All right, welcome back, everyone. We want to turn to breaking news now, developing in just the last few minutes. Things are escalating in Ukraine as Russian President Vladimir Putin has ordered Russian nuclear forces to be put on high alert in response to what he called aggressive statements in regards to recent sanctions put in place. Here's what this means. Putin has ordered Russia's nuclear weapons to be prepared for increased readiness to launch, raising the threat that tensions could boil over into nuclear warfare. Germany is sending anti-tank weapons and Stinger missiles to Ukraine. This alarming step follows fighting in Ukraine's second largest city, and it follows Ukrainian President Zelensky not accepting the location for peace talks. Zelensky asked to move them outside Belarus. Russian troops remain just outside of Kiev at this time. Ukraine's government also announced they will be releasing prisoners with military experience to fight for their country. And the office of Ukraine's president said that delegation would still meet with Russian officials to have those peace talks. We will keep you posted.
Now to this story here, new at midday. Knoxville police say a woman is dead after a multi-vehicle crash along I-140 West in Knox County this morning. We're told she was riding a personal electric scooter in the travel lane on the interstate. The crash happening just before 6 a.m. near mile marker 7 and the North Shore exit. Her identity, as well as the identity of the driver, has not been revealed. This investigation will continue, and we're going to keep you updated as we learn more. Also new today, 3 cars have some smoke damage following an early morning fire over at Legends Auto. Knox County Fire Department responding to the fire, also happening around 6 a.m. at the Legends Auto over on Sutherland Avenue. When crews pulled up, they found a fire in the car bay area. They were able to get the fire out after about 10 minutes. No injuries were reported. Also new here at midday, Campbell County High School Principal Benjamin Faust has been reinstated effective immediately. He was suspended without pay back in March after a Department of Child Services investigation. Faust's attorney, Greg Isaacs, confirms this in a press release. He tells us the investigation was spurred by an anonymous telephone tip. He adds that the investigations by the sheriff's office and the law firm found there was no substance to the allegations. In a quote, Isaacs saying Principal Faust is extremely pleased to put this behind him and return to the Campbell County High School family of students, teachers, and staff.
All right, we go now to breaking news that just came into our newsroom before the show started. Harrison County emergency officials told 5 News that a semi-truck rolled over the highway and into an embankment on Route 50 in Salem. 5's Tyler DeRosa is at the scene with more information. Tyler, what can you tell us about this?
Yeah. New this morning, KFD responded to a fire late last night in East Knoxville. Fire crews received a call around 11:30 about a building on fire near Holly Street and East 5th Avenue. When fire crews arrived, the fire was located inside a business at 417 Holly Street. Crews quickly attacked the fire and were able to put it out within minutes. The building sustained moderate damage. No one was inside at the time of the fire. The cause of the fire remains under investigation.
A fire sparking overnight at a Knoxville Buddy's Barbecue location. This is the Buddy's Barbecue on East Magnolia Avenue. When crews arrived, they say they saw heavy smoke coming from the building, but had a hard time locating the fire. Once they found it, we are told that they were able to make progress without it spreading throughout the building. There were no employees present at the time of the fire, and no injuries were reported by KFD. Investigators are trying to determine a cause of the blaze. No word on whether or not the business will reopen today.
Enjoy that snow while it's here. Maybe go out and build a snowman or make a snow angel. Joe, are you making snow angels out there? What's going on?
Well, the snow's not that high here in Clarksville.
I was doing my hair this morning and my cat decided to knock over my coffee mug while I was doing it, so not that great.
So this isn't the plant-based pizza, but we thought we would celebrate this. No one say anything to me because I did offer Hannah a slice. She just said no. So
yeah.
Tyler's eating his pizza. This isn't the plant-based one, like I said, but this is the regular one.
Yeah.
Tyler, do you think you would prefer the regular Pizza Hut or our plant-based option?
Definitely regular.
Regular.
Yeah.
Anna, what do you think?
I'm a plant-based person. I don't really eat much meat. It does not agree with my tummy.
Okay.
So plant-based for me.
All right, so that's definitely why Anna.
So the good news is that the airport is reopened as of 10 a.m. today. It closed last night around 7 after snow covered all the runways and the surrounding areas. However, the bad news isn't over for some travelers that were supposed to depart yesterday. If you were watching with us earlier this morning, I mentioned one couple who was here to celebrate the wife's 70th birthday and their granddaughter's first birthday. They've been here this weekend, and now they've been in the airport for over 24 hours. They were forced to sleep at baggage claim last night after their flight was canceled yesterday, and now they're trying to figure out their next steps.
We're trying to figure out what to do. Hilton doesn't have any rooms anymore. We need to get some sleep since we haven't slept for 24 hours. And our last plan was maybe to rent a car if it's safe enough to drive to Atlanta and fly home from Atlanta.
He also mentioned that he has since run out of his medicine since being in town, just another reason why they're hoping to get home soon. We'll keep you updated and check back in later, but in Alcoa, I'm Ella Wales, WATE 6 on your side.
All right, thank you, Ellen. Yes, definitely some good news with the airport now opening. It's going to be slow, though, to get back on track. We'll
Good evening, I'm Bo Williams.
I'm Lori Tucker. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Help requested, help received by Mobile Meals, keeping up its mission to feed neighbors who have a tough time getting out, even when the roads are not covered with snow and ice.
You know, yesterday we told you how the group needed volunteers, and today we sent WAT 6 On Your Side reporter Don Dare to follow along as people stepped up to help.
Don joins us live now from Mobile Meals headquarters, really the hub for this effort. Don.
Well, Laura, you know, for the first time in 5 days, volunteers returned here to the Mobile Meals headquarters. When the call was made for people who have a four-wheel drive and an all-wheel drive vehicle, a lot of people came out here today. We talked with one of the managers who coordinated over 800 meals. You're grateful to be back in service.
We are happy to be here, excited to get out there, and hopefully all our volunteers will stay safe today and get to have some really, really great conversations with clients and be able to see them on this winter day.
Volunteer drivers started lining up around 9:30 at the Mobile Meals headquarters. Vehicles equipped to drive on the icy roads left around 12:30.
I'm just a volunteer that's seen it on the news today and showed up today to deliver with a four-wheel drive.
Drivers were sent out over 80 routes throughout the Knoxville area. Some didn't return until 3 o'clock.
Well, I'm really excited to get out there right now today. I've done this for years in terms of having to be out in the snow, so I look forward to doing it again.
Mr. Howard, it's Mobile Meals.
Abby Green and her friend Caitlin Sabo are first-time volunteers. They delivered meals to more than a dozen people.
It's really great to have personal connections with these people, and some of them haven't seen people in a while or don't have family, so it's great to just check in on them and give them a little blessing and something to get them on their way.
For many of the seniors that Mobile Meals serves, this is their only meal of the day, and so we have to show up and we have to make sure we get there and take care of folks.
And taking care of folks, indeed, they did today. Not only delivering meals, but they checked on the well-being of so many people. And that's very important because a lot of them haven't gotten out. Oh, and by the way, volunteers are needed for tomorrow as well. Right now inside, meals are ready to be delivered tomorrow. Back to you in the studio.
Oh, Don, thank you so much. It's so good to see those folks in action. And if you would like to get involved in the volunteer program, call Mobile Meals. You see the number right there. I'll read it to you as well. It's 865-524-2786.
Well, with families stuck at home cranking up the heat during sub-freezing temperatures, the Tennessee Valley Authority officially set an energy record yesterday morning. We're told peak power demand was just over 34,500 megawatts, an all-time TVA record. The average temperature of TVA customers across the region was just 4 degrees. The previous record was set in August 2007 when there was a power demand of over 33,400 megawatts. The agency tells us the electric grid is stable and the generating facilities are performing well.
Whenever we get to a peak like 34,500, we are number one, bringing on every available unit, including those 1,400 megawatts of new peaking natural gas units. And we had firm contracts for purchasing power from other generating sites outside of the valley, as well as surrounding utilities. So we pretty much used everything that was available to us to make sure we kept the lights on during that peak demand.
Hey, but we are not out of the woods yet. TVA is still asking all of us to continue to conserve power by lowering our thermostats and using as much natural light as possible.
And we do want to let you know Knoxville Area Transit, or CAT, will be using regular snow routes again. This also means it will be charging fares, so keep that in mind. However, some roads continue to be on additional detours. This includes Route 23, Millertown Pike, Route 24, Inskip, Route 30, Park Ridge, and then 40, South Knoxville. More details, of course, can be found on the CAT website. Our top story tonight, a threatening email sent deputies rushing to Congressman Tim Burchett's home this weekend.
The email did not just find its way to law enforcement. Someone emailed Knox County commissioners and other county officials to report a crime at Burchett's home address.
WATE was able to obtain a copy of that message, one Burchett now calls a swatting attack. Now, you'll notice we're blurring several words because of the nature of the email.
The writer, going by the name Jamal, says, quote, "I don't know what to do, so I think I'll just confess." He says he, quote, "caught my wife cheating on me at," and here we've removed the text showing Congressman Burchett's address. The message goes on today to say, quote, "I killed the guy she was with and tied her up. She should still be there. Please help me," end quote.
Now, we're told officials and 911 workers quickly recognized the address as the home of Tim Burchett. The representative was called and deputies rushed to the scene, but nothing seemed to miss. Burchett says he's grateful his family was out to dinner at the time and missed the entire incident, but told us if his address was not recognized, things may have gone very differently.
It's 100% swatting, and somebody could get hurt unintentionally. You know, somebody could be joking around or do something stupid, and you could have a very bad ending. And that's exactly what swatting is about. It's about trying to get somebody like myself or law enforcement killed. That's the ultimate end game. I must have had 15 or 16 calls from different people that had either gotten the email or had heard about it or whatever. And, you know, and the sheriff's department was just on top of it. I couldn't be more pleased with their response.
Burchett says a member of Congress was also targeted with that incident over the weekend. And of course, we've told you about the rash of false reports about shooting plots directed at Knox County schools. Just today at midday, we brought you word of a bogus bomb threat against the Anderson County Courthouse, which prompted an evacuation.
Getting you up to speed on this morning's top stories.
The Jefferson County Sheriff's Office is asking for your help to find a missing woman.
Take a look at your screen. This is Sharon Looney. The Sheriff's Office says she was last seen around 2 yesterday afternoon near her home on Horseshoe Bend Road in New Market.
A number of agencies were actively searching for her in the area at last update. If you see her or have any information, call 911 or 865-475-3845.
Early yesterday morning, his deputies found Matthew Hughes in the Maple Springs community. Hughes is facing charges of aggravated burglary, criminal conspiracy, evading arrest, and theft over $1,000. Hughes also has several out-of-state warrants. Several $1,000s of stolen property has been recovered so far, and an investigation is expanded to find several possible co-conspirators.
A man is now in custody after reportedly leading sheriff's deputies on a chase through several counties. He allegedly tried to hit 2 sheriff's office vehicles in the process. This all happened on Friday. The Jefferson County Sheriff's Office says that Joshua Pittenturf was spotted driving a silver Subaru that was reported as stolen out of Knoxville, and that's when the chase began. We are told deputies tried to pull him over in Jefferson County, but that's when he took off into Hamlin County before coming back into Jefferson County. During the pursuit, it is reported that Pittenturf drove through multiple yards and fields before returning to Highway 25E, heading toward Cott County. The Jefferson County Sheriff's Office saying that during the pursuit, Joshua also intentionally tried to hit 2 sheriff's office vehicles. Pittenturf then crashed and ran from the scene on foot. Deputies were able to locate Pittenturf, and after resisting, deputies arrested him. He is facing multiple charges, including evading arrest by motor vehicle, resisting arrest by deputies, and aggravated assault. He is currently being held at the Jefferson County Detention Center.
some cat services will be going back to pre-COVID levels beginning April 8th. Service improvements will increase mainly on Sundays, we're told. Some of the changes will include all Sunday service from 8:15 in the morning to 8:15 at night. Both weekday and Saturday routes will return as well. Route 42, the hospital bus, will return to 30-minute service compared to once an hour as it stands right now.
So Yummy Cafe, a popular eatery in West Knoxville known for its deli sandwiches and sweet treats, will be closing after more than a decade in business. After almost 13 years of service, owner Kim Wilcox has decided to close the cafe at the end of February. Wilcox cited staffing issues, overhead food costs, and closures from snow and COVID-19 have led to the decision she's been wrangling with for the last few years. She said that as a small business, she doesn't have the purchasing power of more established franchises, and at times was not making a profit on the food she was selling.
Welcome back. Well, Broadway is back in Knoxville, and now is your chance to check out 2 award-winning musicals coming to town this month. The first you can see is the musical Dear Evan Hansen. 8 shows will play at the Tennessee Theater, with the first show kicking off Tuesday, November 15th at 7:30. The last show in Knoxville will be Sunday, November 20th at 7 p.m. The tickets start at $50. And then the following week, Jesus Christ Superstar will celebrate its 50th anniversary by playing 8 shows as well. Their first performance will be on Tuesday, November 29th at 7:30, and their final show will be Sunday, December 4th at 7. Tickets for this show also start at $50. And for more information and to buy tickets, head over to TennesseeTheater.com. Well, in Dolly news, Dolly Parton was awarded the Courage and Civility Award by Amazon founder Jeff Bezos. Bezos taking to Twitter to make the announcement, sharing Dolly leads with her heart and will put her $100 million reward to good use. Dolly taking the stage and saying that she tries to put her money where her heart is and will do her best to do good things with the money. She also says that when you are in a position to help, you should. We're congratulating Dolly here at WATE. And still in other Dolly news, commuters working 9 to 5 in New York City can soon swipe at subway stations with the Dolly Parton Metro cards. The MTA is teaming up with Dolly Records and Sony Music Entertainment to announce the release of 50,000 Dolly-themed Metro cards that will be available starting Wednesday. The card honor the release of Parton's new Dolly Parton Diamond and Rhinestones, the Greatest Hits collection, which comes out on November 18th. The Metro cards are available on a first-come, first-served basis at a number of New York City subway station vending machines.
East Tennessee's Queen of Country is about to drop a new cookbook written alongside one of her siblings. Good Looking Cookin' is a year of meals. A lifetime of family, friends, and food is coming out September 17th. Dolly Parton worked on the special book with her sister Rachel Parton George, who Dolly says, quote, might just be the best cook she knows. The book has more than 80 recipes and tips for hosting events like New Year's, Easter, and Christmas. We're told Good Looking Cookin' is available for pre-order now.
This one might be hard to accomplish, but it's National Hug Your Cat Day. It's a day to snuggle your furry friend despite their likely year-round avoidance of your presence and your affection. Look how cute. There's our producer Angela and her cat. If your cat isn't as, oh, and there's Anna and Stella. If your cat isn't as much of a hugger, pets will suffice. If you don't have a feline companion, you can honor the day by volunteering at an animal shelter or visiting with a friend's cat. How sweet. Check out the puppies of Daybreak. Oh my goodness, we have Anna's dog, Tuka, Angela's dog, Levi, and of course my dog, Shimmy, who you already saw.
Now let's take a look at today's free COVID-19 testing. Testing is available in Marion County from noon to 3 at the Marion County Health Center in Fairmont. Testing is also available in Harrison County from 9 to noon at Health Access Incorporated in Clarksburg. For more testing locations, you could go online to the DHHR website. The Randolph County Health Department will be holding a free drive-through COVID-19 testing event this week. Now, the event will be held Friday, January 15th from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and there will be 2 locations offering the test. One location is at Tyrone Ministries in Mill Creek and the other is at the DMC.
It's National Diabetes Awareness Month, and obesity is a leading cause of developing type 2 diabetes. A study conducted by Wallet Hub used 31 different key metrics and compared them across all 50 states and Washington, D.C. The study found that West Virginia is the most obese state in the country. West Virginia ranked second in adult obesity rates, fifth in childhood obesity, sixth in obesity-related deaths, and number one with adults having type 2 diabetes.
Spring. Governor Jim Justice made an announcement on Monday that affects the winter sports season. During his press conference, Governor Justice said games for high school sports can start March 3rd and practices can begin on February 14th. And just like in the fall, games and practices will be determined on the color of the county on the school alert map. Governor Justice said, quote, "Remember, you have to have 14 practices before you can play, but we have to be in school. If you are red in remote learning, we can't play." New this morning, some school activities can make altercations in the age of COVID-19, but some find doing that can be a bit more challenging. The Bridgeport High School Band has had their performing season interrupted due to the pandemic this year, and events could not go on as planned. Practice also looked different because the students were divided for practice to allow social distancing. Bridgeport High School Band Director Chris Hazlett says, quote, "Band is supposed to be a group of people who do things together. We've had to be a group of people who aren't allowed to be together." Route 50 eastbound lanes were closed last night due to a single vehicle accident in Harrison County. A water truck was headed towards Parkersburg and rolled over into the eastbound lanes. According to Harrison County 911 officials, no injuries were reported. Harrison County EMS, Harrison County Sheriff's Office, and the Salem Fire Department all responded. Stick with 5 News for any updates. And there was a motor vehicle accident reported just after 6 p.m. Saturday on Lodgeville Road near the Best Western. We're told one person was transported to UHC. Bridgeport Police and fire departments were
multiple acres burned in Cooper's Rock State Forest after a brush fire, emergency officials tell 5 News. These pictures come from Ronnie Dunaway with the Granville Fire Department. Monongalia County Emergency Management said a brush fire call came in just before 5:30 Tuesday evening. The scene was active until just after 12:40 Wednesday morning. Multiple agencies, including the West Virginia Division of Forestry, the Mon County Drone Team, and the Mon County Brush Fire Squad responded.
Those in the East Tennessee hockey community came together to take part in something special yesterday. Take a look at your screens. With the frigid temperatures this week, those that enjoy the sport got a surprise: playing hockey outdoors. We spoke with a dad and his son living in Farragut about making the best of the cold.
We've been living in Farragut now a little over 8 years, and this pond has frozen twice. And the first time we were out of town, we couldn't enjoy it, but this could be a once-in-a-lifetime thing for a lot of these kids in youth hockey.
We've been enjoying this winter weather. We haven't been getting much like this, and we just been enjoying ice skating around on this frozen pond.
How fun is that? Dave says his son Asher is preparing for a hockey tournament soon, and this just adds to his practice time.
It is a big day of close call midterm elections across the nation with some high-stake races taking center stage.
Yeah, a lot of nail-biters here. A number of key races being called this morning, while some are still too close to call at this hour.
In Pennsylvania, the key Senate race between Republican TV personality Dr. Mehmet Oz and Democrat John Fetterman resulted in a win for Fetterman, with 50% of the vote going to him and 48% going to Oz. This is according to ABC. His victory proving this election is closer than polls predicted, as both parties fight for control of Congress. Fetterman had faced questions about being fit for office after suffering a stroke just days before the state's primary.
And in Ohio, ABC is projecting Republican and author of Hillbilly Elegy, J.D. Vance, will defeat his Democratic opponent, Tim Ryan. 53% of the vote going to Vance, while 47% went to Ryan.
In New Hampshire, incumbent Democrat Maggie Hassan defeated Republican Don Bolduc. Fellow Democrats Gretchen Whitmire of Michigan, Janet Mills of Maine, and the first female governor of New York, Kathy Hochul, all beating their Republican challengers. On the other side of the aisle, Florida incumbent Governor Ron DeSantis and Texas Governor Greg Abbott winning their races in two of the nation's largest red states. Massachusetts elected the first openly lesbian governor for any state, while Maryland elected its first black governor.
And perhaps the highest stakes race is Georgia's Senate race between Democrat incumbent Raphael Warnock and Republican candidate Herschel Walker. It remains tight and too close to call, with the two candidates going back and forth between who's in the lead. But in a rematch in the race for governor, ABC News is projecting Republican Brian Kemp has won re-election, beating out Democrat Stacey Abrams.
Let's celebrate this historic victory while knowing there's still plenty of work to do.
And while we may not write the story today, there will always be another chapter.
According to preliminary exit poll data, inflation is the #1 issue for voters at 32%. But surprisingly, that preliminary data also finds the issue of abortion a close second in importance to voters at 27%.
Fast thunderstorms developed in north central Kansas and headed northeast, causing damage across Nebraska and Iowa. Part of this system passed through the Rocky Mountains and brought high winds, record high temperatures, and storms as it made its way across Nebraska. This video shot in Lincoln shows hurricane-force winds blowing debris in a parking lot. Wind gusts in this area were forecast at 60 to 70 miles an hour. Now, wild winds in Missouri also left a trail of destruction there. This video shows part of a metal roof on an airplane hangar at the Kansas City Charles B. Wheeler Airport, twisted and thrown on the ground after storms passed through the region. Fortunately, no injuries were reported in this area. This is what one family had to say about their experience.
It shook the whole house.
So my mom and I ran into the interior room, which is our hall closet, and we were in there when I could hear the wind picking up. So when we ran in there, you could hear the crash and things were falling off the shelf onto our heads, and I thought our house was gone.
And Minnesota experienced its first ever tornado warning in the month of December,
which unfortunately
the Barber County Fair made a big announcement on their Facebook page last night. They announced that the fair this year is going to be canceled due to the rise in COVID-19 cases in the county. In the post, the president of the fair, Debbie Schoonover, said this decision was made with the best interests of the health and well-being of all concerned and not made lightly by our local health and government agencies. For more information, visit barbercountyfairs.com. Hospitals all over the state are filling up as a result of the surge in COVID-19 cases. However, one local hospital system has empty beds. The CEO of Mont Health Center, David Goldberg, said as of yesterday they had only 12 patients with COVID-19 between their 4 facilities, making plenty of room for other patients. They will continue to accept patients from across the state as long as they don't hit full capacity. And we're finally getting information about unvaccinated people in West Virginia hospitals. Currently, the DHHR dashboard does not have data on how many vaccinated and unvaccinated people are in the hospital with COVID-19. The governor's team is monitoring data coming from the West Virginia Hospital Association. The Upshur County Board of Education voted to require face coverings indoors. The mandate will only be in effect while the community status is in the orange or red. Under the guidelines, staff, administrators, and students that do not comply will be addressed. Face coverings are required on all buses regardless of the county's status on the map. Cardiologists at the WVU Heart and Vascular Institute performed their 500th Watchman implant procedure in July. This implant is a treatment for patients who have a certain condition with their heart valves. People with this have a 5 times greater risk of stroke. For patients with the condition who are unsuitable for blood thinners, the Watchman implant is another option to reduce their risk of AF-related stroke. Mosquitoes carrying West Nile virus have been found in Cabell County. Health officials say that there have been no reported cases involving people, though. They added that most people who have been exposed to West Nile virus do not have symptoms. However, some cases can lead to hospitalization and even death. They recommend that people avoid mosquitoes by wearing long sleeves and pants outdoors. Make sure to always wear insect repellent, avoid peak mosquito hours like dusk or dawn, and remove standing water around your home. Multiple West Virginia officials have announced that the state is partnering with One Fair Wage and Ray's High Road Restaurant to distribute $50,000 to help restaurant owners. The president of One Fair Wage said, quote, One Fair Wage's High Road Kitchen program will provide grants to restaurants in West Virginia that commit to paying one fair wage to all workers, a full minimum wage with tips on top, and provide free meals to community members in need. Restaurant owners can apply on highroadkitchen.swv. Fairmont State University campus community now has free access to food products and other essential items. This comes from a new initiative known as Freddy's Pantry. Essential and highly requested items include canned foods, toothpaste, feminine products, and many more. The pantry was unveiled by the Fairmont State Student Government Association yesterday. Schools and libraries can expect to receive funding to help expand broadband access over the next year. The money will be going towards a variety of technology. Laptops, tablets, Wi-Fi hotspots, routers, and broadband connections are all among the tech that will help benefit students, staff, and library visitors. U.S. Senator Joe Manchin says, quote, without broadband access, West Virginians can't compete for good-paying jobs, finish their homework, or attract new residents to the state. Officials were alerted to a structure fire in Taylor County around 10 p.m. yesterday evening. The fire was in a vacant home on Shackleford Street. According to 911 officials, there are no injuries reported at this time. Boothsville, Fellowsville, Flemington, Grafton, and Stonewood fire departments responded to the scene, as well as Grafton Police Department, Taylor County Sheriff's Office, and Taylor County EMS. The Randolph County Commission named 3 interim directors after suspending 3 employees of the County 911 Center and Office of Emergency Management. Commissioners voted to contract Allegan HR to investigate the situation involving the 3 employees that were suspended on Monday. But he says the suspensions come after an internal investigation that stemmed from complaints from 911 Center employees. As a result of that investigation, Sydney Hart, director of both the County Office of Emergency Management and County 911, Jim Ansell, Office of Emergency Management Deputy Director, and Hillary White, the 911 Deputy Director, were suspended.
What we did as a result did an internal investigation, and based upon that, we've found that there might be evidence. So we went ahead and did the paid suspension now, where we can do a full investigation and make sure that we get the facts right.
The commission wants the public to know this will not impact services, and the investigation should take a month. A public sign-up event for medical cannabis patients was held yesterday at the Mountaineer Mall. The registration event with Green Health Docs allowed patients to get certification for a card to get medical cannabis. Patients with qualified conditions were able to walk in for an evaluation from a doctor. Officials with the event say that it is an easy way to get registered all in one place.
After you see the doctor, the doctor is going to send that information to the state. That way the state, while they're here, they can help you with the state registration process.
If you weren't able to get registration for a card in person, telehealth options are also available to receive certification. For more information, you can visit our website, WDTV.com. And coming up, how can you make sure the charity you're donating to is credible? We'll tell you some helpful tips to avoid scams. So stay tuned for today's Consumer Watch.